Hi, everyone. I'm Kristan Hawkins. I'm so excited that we have some time together tonight. That I'm going to share with you some really exciting news, something that Students for Life has been working on for the past, for the past year and a half now, and some things that we had to keep kind of under wraps. So I'm so excited right now that I'm going to be able to share this new Students for Life battle plan with you. And so thanks for tuning in. So I don't know if you've been following a lot lately about the new strategies that Planned Parenthood and the pro-abortion movement has been releasing. But really, they know that it's all up for grabs with this midterm election. And if you couldn't tell by the way they were acting during the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings, they're more scared than ever when it comes to legal abortion on demand in our country. They're very afraid of what's going to happen. There was a report released not too long ago, a report that was produced by the pro-abortion movement for their top donors. It was a 90-page document. I've got it here in my book bag. I was reading it on the airplane the other day. And, this undercover document, the Terra group put out was really shocking because they identified what the strengths and weaknesses of the pro-abortion movement was in the country and where they need to be putting more money, more time, more energy. Page 4 of this plan very clearly laid out their goal, and they said, quote, their goal was to increase the supply and the demand of birth control and abortion. And so they're very clear, the other side, of what Planned Parenthood and the abortion lobby seeks to do. They want to increase the supply and demand of contraception and abortion. And what we have to do as the pro-life movement, if we want to be victorious, if we want to see a nation where there's no more legal abortions, where abortion is a thing of the past, where no woman ever feels like she has to choose between the life of her child and her life, where no woman ever feels like abortion is an acceptable choice, we have to eliminate that. We have to, decrease the supply and the demand of the abortion industry. Planned Parenthood came out just last week with another battle plan that they've announced post Brett Kavanaugh and going into the election. So now is the time. I have a few minutes with you today. I'm not on an airplane. I've been on airplanes like for the past 3 weeks straight. I was actually sick as a dog this weekend because I haven't been sleeping because I've been on these airplanes shaking too many hands, getting too many germs. So if you see me in a town near you in the next couple weeks, I will have hand sanitizer right next to me if you shake my hand. So that's just a fair warning. But since Planned Parenthood's released their annual plan, their new battle plan, since we have this undercover report from the pro-abortion movement, where they're focusing on, it's time for us to share with you, the courageous pro-life generation, what our battle plan at Students for Life is and where we see our organization going. As you know, we've been building Students for Life groups up. We've been starting groups and helping your groups become stronger and have more members and do more things on your college and high school campus. Do more things that will change lives, that will change hearts and minds, that will help women and children on your campus. But, a lot of times people ask me, well, like, you're starting all these groups, we have 1,200 Students for Life groups across the country. This is the pro-life generation. Now, where do we go? What do we do? Well, this is what we do. Students for Life's new battle plan that we just announced to our staff just 2 months ago, that was board approved, that not all of our supporters even know about yet. I'm telling you now on Facebook Live, it's threefold. The first thing we want to do, and this is going to require your participation and your help. It's just not Kristan and our team of 40 plus staffers. This is going to be every Students for Life chapter across the country. We're going to need your help and support to pull this off. The first thing that we want to do in our battle plan is we have to end Planned Parenthood's influence. We have to end Planned Parenthood's influence in our schools. So whether that's a college campus, a medical school, a high school, a middle school, we have to stop their influence, because this is exactly where they target their preferred audience, right? Their preferred lucrative audience, us. young people. This is where they want to trap young people in their predatory business cycle. And they continue to make money off of you as you get older. The more sexual partners you have, the more STDs you have, the more near pregnancy scares, the more abortions you have. They know they can make more and more money off you. We have to end Planned Parenthood's influence. The second thing we have to do is end student abortions. And the environment on our campuses that result in abortions, whether it's a campus that's, committing abortions, a college campus that's committing abortions, or a high school that's allowing Planned Parenthood to come and pick up girls and take them to an abortion facility without their parents even a parent's approval or even their parents being notified. We have to stop the student abortions. We have to stop young girls that we know are friends from having abortions. And the third thing we have to do in order to have the successful pro-life movement, in order for us to see abortion abolished in our country, is we have to launch lifetime leaders, launching you all into lifetime leadership in the pro-life movement. So it doesn't just stop when you graduate high school or you graduate college. It continues. You continue on. You continue to do more in the movement. You don't just stop. So how and what does this look like? I think when we talk about ending Planned Parenthood's influence, it can kind of be a little scary when you think about the fact that they're a $1 billion a year abortion Goliath. And we at Students for Life are nowhere near a $1 billion a year entity. I wish we were. If anyone wants to donate $1 billion, I'd be happy to put it to good use, abolishing abortion. But we're like, how are we going to take them on? How is that possible? Well, I have a couple of stories for you, a couple of examples I want to share with you today. So last summer, students at Reading High School in Pennsylvania found out that the Planned Parenthood abortion facility that's actually been cited multiple times by the state of Pennsylvania for health and safety violations was planning to put a full-time staff member in their high school, their public high school. It was students and parents last June who rose up, who actually went to the school board meeting. Our team was there. We did a live stream from it. We held a protest. We did a local PR campaign, writing letters to all the school board members, doing letters to the editor, doing op-eds. We did press, we did radio, we did TV. We did everything we could think of. And when we got to that school board meeting in June, they were kind of shocked to find that all the people that were there were pro-life and they were young people. So the school board actually delayed the vote on inserting this Planned Parenthood paid staffer into the school district. And they said, we're going to revote in August. And I think they thought we would forget it was going to happen, that it was a couple months away. But guess what? Pro-life students, the pro-life gen was out there again in August in full force, and we won. We defeated the measure by 1 vote. Students in Reading, PA kept Planned Parenthood out of their high school. Just 2 weeks ago in California, the pro-abortion governor of California vetoed SB 320. And I don't know if you've been following our posts, if you saw any of our tours we did this spring, but SB 320 was this huge piece of legislation that was introduced last January, well, actually this January, in the State House in Sacramento. And when the legislation was going to make every state college campus in California an abortion facility, requiring every state university campus to dispense RU486, the abortion pill, right from campus. This would have fundamentally changed the game of the abortion industry in California. You talk about our pro-life movement and our tactics and things we do. What will you do when every school is turned into an abortion facility? Well, that's what their goal was. Most people didn't really want to fight or didn't really have the will to fight because everyone thought it was a lost cause because it was California. Well, we didn't stop. The pro-life gen mobilized. We were there in Sacramento in January. We had a lobby day, a training day. We were there in the spring. We were there in June. We were there in August. Our team members even testified against the piece of legislation. We took toilet seats and toilet bowls to more than 50 California college campuses on our toilet bowl tour, thinking outside the box, saying very clearly to the student body, this is nowhere to have an abortion. And we had even pro-choice students who disagree with us about abortion, agree with us that abortion shouldn't be taking place like that on their college campus. 2 weeks ago, After this bill passed, we thought it was a lost cause. The pro-abortion governor of California, Jerry Brown, actually vetoed the measure. And used our own talking point in his letter for justifying his veto. This was huge because we knew this bill for certain was going to put Planned Parenthood on all the California campuses, because written in the bill, Planned Parenthood was going to be allowed to come on as licensed contractors to help the school health centers deal with handing out the abortion pill on their college campus. Students in California rose up. They refused to be silent. They weren't afraid to be silent because they lived in California. They continued on, they persevered, and because of that, Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry was stopped dead in their tracks. When we're talking about ending Planned Parenthood's influence on our campuses, many of you are already doing that. When Cecile Richards comes to your campus and you approach her with an undercover camera and ask her a challenging question. Or when she comes and you try to get in, like at Penn State, just to hear and ask questions during the Q&A politely, and they bar you from attending the event. Yeah, that really happened last year. You stand up to Planned Parenthood all the time in your communities. When you know Planned Parenthood's hosting a fundraiser at the YMCA or the YWCA or at the local brewery, and you're out there on the streets with your pro-life Gen sign, or when Cecile Richards is out there on her book tour, promoting herself as the former president of Planned Parenthood, you're out there reminding the nation's media, reminding the electorate that this generation, young people, are pro-life, and we reject Planned Parenthood's predatory business cycle. We can do this. We can end Planned Parenthood's influence in our schools and on our generation. The second part of our battle plan, ending student abortions. This is a hard one, right? How are we going to change college campuses? How are we going to transform college campuses into places where women feel support, where women know they're loved, where women know they don't have to choose to make that false choice? You guys are already doing this through our Pregnant on Campus initiative, our supportive services pillar at Students for Life. Just at the end of last year, we found out that Ball State, Indiana, Ball State Students for Life, they worked with their Student Government Association, their administration, and guess what? We have a new policy on that campus that now allows pregnant staff and students to park closer to campus. Last year, 2 Texas Students for Life groups raised more than $40,000 for pregnant parenting students. Pro-Life Aggies at Texas A&M raised $30,000 in scholarships for 15 pregnant parenting students. Texas Students for Life raised $8,000 in just a couple of days to help pregnant parenting students. We also found out that Liberty University, one of the most well-respected Christian universities in America, our Students for Life group was able to work with their Student Government Association last spring, and we were able to have a lot of changes on that campus. For the biggest one, the one I was most excited about, is that pregnant girls are no longer going to be kicked out of the dorms for simply being pregnant. They're going to be allowed to live in the dorms. And then when they give birth, they're allowed to live in the dorms again, in the married housing. This is huge because we know the 2 biggest impediments, the 2 biggest reasons women say that they choose abortion in college is because of lack of housing and lack of daycare. Liberty University stepped up big to take care of this. They also passed student legislation to equip their resident advisors to give out our pregnant resources kits. They created a lactation room in their library on campus. They had legislation to allow for students to have more excused absences for classes if they're pregnant. This was huge. This is actually, I've never seen this before, this level of commitment from a Christian university to reverse so many policies at one time. Now, the third part of our strategic plan is launching lifetime leaders. And this is what we love to do at Students for Life, because this is something we can see done every day. Actually, I think it's one of the easiest things to do because there's so many of you. There's so many courageous pro-life generation members. You guys want to do more. You want to know how you can step up. And I love this. I love this so much about every single one of you. So I'm just we of course it had a part of our battle plan, because this is how we know we're going to have success. Because when we have young people, when we have youth, if you look at any social movement history, it was young people that turned the tide. When young people came a part of that movement, the tide was turned. And that's exactly what we have to have in our pro-life movement. We have to be filled with young people. We have to be led by young people. And that's exactly what you're doing on your campuses and in your communities. When you step up to not only lead your Students for Life group, but now you're also leading a 40 Days for Life campaign, or when you take on an extra volunteer opportunity at the Pregnancy Resource Center, or an internship, or you applied to be the executive director of the PRC, the week after you graduate college. You're not letting your age or maybe your inexperience in leadership hold you back. You're saying, no, I have something to offer, and it's valuable, and I can do this because I'm a member of the pro-life generation. That's what's so awesome. And we saw this time and time again this year. This summer, Justice for Life Tour. We launched a Justice for Life Tour in 2 weeks when we knew we had to get out to states, and we had to put pressure on key U.S. senators to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to be our 5th pro-life Supreme Court justice. We had over 20 students who gave up a week of their summer vacation, and a lot of times they gave up the last week of their job, their summer job, to pay for college to join us in Missouri. We went to Indiana, North Dakota, Alaska, and West Virginia. Many of you even helped organize rallies on the weekend. When if you weren't able to join us for the week, you were able to give us the weekend. You guys stepped up. You guys led. We had our Christian Leadership Fellowship this August. We had more than 20 Christian school leaders in Jacksonville, Florida, at the beach, learning how to be leaders on their Christian university campuses with their Students for Life groups. Our Wilberforce and our Stevens high school and college fellowships kicked off in June in Washington, D.C. at the Supreme Court. We're training our fellows. And these fellows, they're receiving one-on-one mentoring. They're helping complete a pro-life project. They're learning about different aspects of leadership all year long. The other way we're making leaders, and we hope to make leaders this year beyond our mobilizations or our Justice for Life tours, our fellowships, or our leadership workshops, which you all should have been signed up for by now, hopefully, in your region, is our national conference. And I hope you're signed up for our national conference. It's coming up this January. You can go to SFLAlive.org to register. We are hoping to make this our biggest Students for Life national conference ever. More than 2,000 young people. It'll be the largest pro-life conference in the world. It's the day after March for Life in Washington, D.C. We'll have all the national pro-life organizations there, most of the national pro-life leaders there. This is the place where you can get trained. This is the place where you will be equipped. This is the place where so many have come back and have emailed me or texted me after the national conference saying, the conference changed my life. It's changed my perspective. In fact, we actually have team members who work for us full-time as Students for Life because they came to the national conference. And here's a little hint. They didn't even know when they were coming to the national conference what they were coming for or what Students for Life was. A friend dragged them to come and said, well, if you're coming to the March for Life with me, you've got to come to the conference. And it was that, being at that conference, being surrounded with 2,000 of your peers, knowing that you're not alone, getting the tools that you need to really enact change on your campus and your community, knowing that you can do it. That's why there's so many that switch flips in their head. So make sure you sign up for our national conference. Don't come to the March for Life and miss the national conference, because the March for Life is going to get you motivated, it's going to get you inspired, but the conference is going to tell you what to do. It's going to set you on your path of pro-life leadership. So make sure you register at SFLAlive.org. And also next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, we are going to have a webinar on Zoom, which you have to register us for the link. We're going to put the link down in the comments below. We're going to have a webcast on Zoom where we're actually going to teach you how to put together a March for Life trip, how to fundraise for your March for Life trip, how to invite people to your March for Life trip, so you can make it a worthwhile weekend, coming to the March for Life in DC and also coming to our Students for Life of America National Conference. I'm so excited. I hope I can see all of you in January at the event, because this is the time where you can put your passion, your dedication to ending abortion into practice, where you can get active, live right on your campus, right in your community, and you can know exactly what you can do. And we're going to be going through all the 5 pillars at Students for Life: effective education, industry impact, supportive services, public policy, rapid response, all the five different ways we know your group has to be effective on campus. And we're going to be going through those. We're going to be going through each and every one, explaining them, training them, and giving you ideas for how you can transform your campuses, how you can transform your communities. And there's going to be certain things that you're going to be more interested than others in your group. So make sure you bring different people from your group so you guys can split up, because workshops aren't going to be repeated. There's too much to cover. So make sure you sign up for that. So I hope I gave you just a quick, a quick outline of our battle plan. I didn't go through all the data points. I didn't pull up all my maps and my statistics for you guys. I didn't geek out like I normally do, but I hope you are as excited as I am about our battle plan, Students for Life, where we see our pro-life generation going this year and beyond, where we know we must strategically engage. Because, friends, make no mistake about it, the abortion industry knows what it is they're fighting for, and they're fighting harder than ever. And you know what? It's going to get worse. What we saw during the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings of the women disrupting the hearings, then the day of the vote, the women and men were actually clawing at the Supreme Court doors. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because they know what it is they're fighting for. They are fighting for a legal abortion all 9 months of pregnancy, for whatever reason, and taxpayer funded. That is what they're fighting for. You and I know what it is we're fighting for. We're fighting for life. We're fighting for justice. We're fighting for women. So we can't be silent. We can't rest on our laurels. We have to continue to do more than we've ever done before. And that's why we've released this battle plan. And I hope you're excited about it, because we're going to be asking you, I'm going to be asking you to do more than you've ever done before, because this isn't an ambitious plan. Trust me, I didn't go through the goal numbers with you. This is an ambitious plan that we have at Students for Life, and we have a lot that we want to accomplish, but we want to accomplish it for the good of our nation, for the good of our movement, to get to that day when abortion is abolished, when abortion is illegal, and when abortion is unthinkable. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for your courageous work on your college campuses. I know so many of you right now are facing discrimination. You're facing vandalizations. I just got an email report today of all the cases that we're hearing about from you, what's happening in your schools. Keep sending us those stories. Keep telling us, because we have lawyers standing by. We're willing to help you. We want to help you. We want to help you so you can get the word out on your campus, that you won't be silenced on your campus. We want to help you. We want to serve you, because that's what we do. That's why I started Students for Life. That's why I continue to serve, because I know the power you can have. I know the life-saving power you can have on your campuses of changing hearts and minds and serving those right in crisis. So thank you for what you're doing. If you have any questions about this battle plan, about ending Planned Parenthood's influence, ending student abortions, or launching lifetime leaders, if you have any question about why we would choose these 3 things to focus on, if you have any suggestions or ideas, please feel free. You can email me anytime. If you get our emails, you have my email address. It's just Kristan, Kristan, at studentsforlife.org, or you can email your regional coordinator. We'll get back to you, because we want to hear from you. This plan is your plan. This plan is going to rely on you. We can abolish abortion, but we can only do it, everyone, if we work together. Thanks so much. God bless. Have a good night. Bye-bye.